I'm ready.
I'm going to start my Class A pre-trip inspection, Form C. I'm going to begin with my coupling system and my fifth wheel. I have 3 coupling lines. My emergency red line, my service line is blue. There's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and no leaks. My lines are not tangled. They're in good condition. My electrical line is green. There's no frays, cut, bare, or loose wires. It is also in good condition. Connected to my tractor, I have a tractor electrical box. It is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds, not missing any bolts or nuts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. It has a locking cap in place holding my line in, so it's secured. And there's 7 working pins for my electrical connection, working properly. It's connected to my trailer by another electrical box, which is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds, not missing any nuts or bolts. No rust or shininess indicating they're loose. Also with a locking cap holding the line in place with 7 working pins, all in good condition. My service and emergency line are connected to air valves on my tractor. My valves are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. All the fittings are on properly, and there's no leaks. The air lines going into my valves, there's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and no leaks. They're all in good condition. Connected to my trailer are my glad hands, my emergency and service glad hands. They're both properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds. They're not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. They are in the closed, locked position, so they do not come out. There's a rubber gasket in each of the glad hands that is not dried or cracking, and there are no leaks. All 3 of my lines are being properly suspended by my suspension spring, which is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, and the suspension bar is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, in good condition. The lines are suspended so they're not dragging on my tractor frame where they could get caught in my exhaust or in my drive shaft. They're all in good condition. I'll come down underneath and I'll start on my fifth wheel assembly. I'll begin with my apron, which is welded to my trailer bed. My apron is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds, no extra holes, and it is properly greased. It is connected to my fifth wheel skid plate, which is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. All the nuts and bolts are in place. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. My skid plate is also properly greased, and there's no light or gap showing between my apron and fifth wheel, indicating I got a proper connection. Right here is my fifth wheel pin. I have one on this side, one on the other side. They are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. There's no rust or shininess indicating that they're loose. They have a locking nut and bolt in place that also has no rust or shininess indicating it's loose. They're properly secured, in good condition. Right here is my manual release arm. My manual release arm is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It is in the engaged position. It has a spring connected to it. The spring is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, in good condition. I have an emergency electrical release mechanism for my trailer. My emergency electrical release is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. All the springs are in place, properly mounted, and it is in good condition. I have 2 cross members for my fifth wheel, one in the front and one in the back. They are both properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They're not twisted. They're in good condition. My skid plate is connected to my sliding plate. My sliding plate is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds. It is right now in a locked position with a locking nut. It does move forward and back. I always make sure by moving my sliding plate, that I have proper clearance between my landing gear and the back of my tractor, so I don't have any issues. My sliding plate is connected to my fifth wheel structure, which is connected to my tractor frame. My fifth wheel structure is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It's not missing any bolts or nuts, and there's no rust or shininess indicating that any of them are loose. They're all in good condition. Going on the inside of my skid plate is my kingpin. My kingpin is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It's welded to the middle of my apron, and it is in good condition. It is also properly greased. Around my kingpin are my locking jaws. They are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, and they are properly greased. On the end of my skid plate here is my tongue drawbar. It is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It is not twisted, and there's no debris on the inside of my skid plate here, which could prevent me from either picking up or dropping off my trailer. I'll begin at the front of my trailer, and I'll start with my trailer indicating lights, my running lights. They are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating that they're loose. They are amber in color, indicating this is the front of my trailer, and they're not missing any bulbs. All the bulbs are in good working condition. My trailer frame, going all the way down, my trailer, it's properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It's not twisted, bent. It's in good condition, all the way down my trailer, all the way across. My trailer bed is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. I'm not missing any planks. I do have a hole here that's been reported to maintenance. We're going to need that fixed. There's no debris on top of my trailer. Everything's secured, and there's no dirt, oil, or grease that could cause a slipping hazard up here. It's all in good condition. My DOT reflective tape, it's going down the length of my trailer. It's not frayed, peeling, or cracked. It's in good condition. It is red and clear in color. Stepping down off my trailer over here, I'm going to start with my landing gear. Right here I have my crank bar handle. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose, and it is in the stowed position, so it will not move while I'm driving the trailer. This is my landing gear gearbox. It's properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. All the nuts and bolts are properly mounted. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose, and it's properly greased. Right here is my landing gear bar. It's going all the way across, connecting my two landing gears. My landing gear bar is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, and it is properly greased. Right here is my landing gear structure. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. All the supports are in place. All the nuts and bolts are in good condition. There's no rust or shininess indicating that they're loose. It's my landing gear leg on both sides. Properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It is properly greased. Connected to my leg are my landing gear shoes. They're both properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. There's no debris blocking them from being able to pivot, and there's no debris underneath my landing gear shoes that could prevent me from dropping my trailer, lowering my landing gear. They're all in good condition. I have a storage compartment for my trailer. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. It's properly secured, and It also has a lock, keeping everything in place, locked, so it won't come undone while I'm driving the trailer. It's all in good condition. Right here, I have my signal marker. This is my left signal marker. I also have a right signal marker on the other side. They're properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds. It's amber in color, has good working light bulb, and all the wires going into my signal is properly mounted and secured, not frayed, not cut, no bare or loose wires, all in good condition. Looking underneath my trailer here, I got my trailer cross members going all the way across my trailer bed, up and down my trailer. They're all properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, all in good condition. Coming in to the back of my trailer frame, I got my leaf spring mounts. The leaf spring mounts on my trailer are properly welded. The ones in the front of my tractor are all bolted in. My leaf spring mounts are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They're in good condition. I got my leaf spring mounting bar. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, in good condition. My leaf spring mounts are holding two things: my leaf springs and my trailer torque bar. I'll start with my leaf springs. My leaf springs are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, no illegal welds. They're not scissoring. They're in good condition. I'm not missing any. They're held in place in the center to my trailer axle by my two U-bolts. My U-bolts are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. The nuts and bolts are all in place. I'm not missing any, and there's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. My trailer torque bar, it is properly mounted. I have one on this side, one on the other side. They're properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They're not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. The bushing on my torque bar is not dried or cracking. It is properly greased, in good condition. Looking up inside of my trailer, I have my trailer air tank. It is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, and it does not leak. Connected to my air tank are my trailer air valves. My air valves are all properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, and they also do not leak. Connected to my valves are all of my air lines going to my brake chambers. My air lines are properly mounted and secured. All the clamps are on tight. There's no leaks, and there's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. They're all in good condition. They go down here, connected to my dual brake chambers, which are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, and they do not leak. They're held in the center by C-clamps. My C-clamps are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They're not missing any nuts or bolts, and there's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose, and there's no leaks. At a 90-degree angle, going into the back of my brake chambers, are my push rods. My push rods are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, no illegal welds. They're in good condition. They are connected, which is at a 90-degree angle, to my slack adjusters. My slack adjusters are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They're not missing any nuts or bolts or cotter pins holding them in place. They're locked in. If I was to check my brakes, I would chalk my wheels first. I would go in my cab, release my brakes, put my truck in neutral. I would come out and pull by hand on the slack adjuster, and I'll have no more than 1 inch of play. This is my trailer axle. It is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, in good condition. All the nuts and bolts are all in place, and there's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. The insides of my tires. My tires. There's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, no leaks, no nails or other kinds of debris that could cause me tire failure, and they're properly beaded to my rims all the way around, and there's no leaks. My rims, they're properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. There's no debris or any other kind of obstruction that could possibly cause me a tire fire. My brake drums, going all the way around my rims. My brake drums are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. There's no dirt, oil, or grease that could possibly cause me a brake hazard. On the centerpiece right here, these are my brake pads. My brake pads are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. They're not dangerously worn thin. They can be no less than 1/4 of an inch. There's also no dirt, oil, or grease that could cause me a braking hazard. Holding my brake pads are my brake shoes. My brake shoes are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds. They're not missing any rivets. And again, no dirt, oil, or debris that could cause me a brake hazard. Coming out to the tops of my tires. My tires are both worn evenly. They're properly mounted and secured. There's no kind of debris such as nails or bolts that could cause me tire hazards. The tread depth on my trailer tires can be no less than 2/32. These tires can be recapped, bastards. Anyhow, my tires are in good condition. The inside tire walls of my tires, there's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, no leaks. They're beaded all the way around my rims. And again, no kind of nails or bolts or other debris on the inside tire walls. And there's no leaks. Inside of my tires, I have a 4-inch gap. There's no debris of any kind or dead animals that could cause me a tire fire. And I have a rim-to-rim connection. My rims are properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. And there's no gap or light showing between my rims, meaning they're properly connected. If I had spacers between my tires, I'd make sure they were properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. On the outside of my tire, outside tire walls, they're beaded all the way around my rims. There's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, no nails, bolts, or other kind of debris that could cause me tire failure, and there's no leaks. My rims, my outer rims are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, no extra holes. They're in good condition. I have 2 air valves, one for my out tire, one for my inner tire. Both of my air valves are properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They have caps in place. I checked my air pressure. My air pressure on my trailer tires is 105 PSI, and my air valves do not leak. They're in good condition. I have 10 lug nuts. They're all properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. There's no rust or shininess, which would indicate I could have a loose lug nut. They're all in good condition. Here I have my hub oil seal. My hub oil seal is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they could be loose. It is filled to the proper level and does not leak. Right here I have my trailer mud flap. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. There's no illegal welds. My mount bar is in good condition, and my mud flap itself is not cracked, damaged, peeling, is in good condition. It is 8 inches from my tire and 4 inches from the ground. Right here I have my rear trailer running light. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they're loose. They are red in color, indicating this is the rear of my trailer. They're also not missing any bulbs. They're all in good condition. Looking underneath, all of my lights, all of my wires to my lights. There's no frays, cut, bare, or loose wires. They're all in good condition, working properly. Stepping around to the rear of my trailer. I'm going to start out with my trailer lights. They are red in color. They're properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. They're not missing any pins. The seals on the inside of my lights, it's not dried or cracking, does not leak. All of my light bulbs are properly working. These lights consist of my brake lights, my running lights, my four-way flashers, and my signal lights. All working properly in good condition. Right here, I have 3 trailer ID lights. They're properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. The rubber seal going around is not dried or cracking. They do not leak. All the bulbs are in good condition. They're red in color. These indicate I'm driving a commercial vehicle. Right here I have my license plate. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. Not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating it could be loose. It is clean, visible, in good condition. I also have a license plate light, which is clear in color. Properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, not missing any bulbs. It is in good condition, used at night when I'm driving the trailer. Right here, I have my pinto hook. My pinto hook is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess, indicating that they could be loose. It's in good condition. Right here, I have my trailer electrical box. It is properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess, indicating they could be loose. It has 7 pins inside, all in good condition, with a locking cap to hold my electrical line in place if I was to connect to another trailer. This is my electrical box outlet, turns my electrical box on and off. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, in good condition. It is in the off position at this time. These are my trailer rear glad hands, my emergency and my service. They are both properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, no illegal welds. They're not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no rust or shininess indicating they could be loose. My glad hand rubber gaskets on the inside, they're not dried or cracking, they're in good condition. My glad hands are in the closed position, so they do not leak, no leak. This is my trailer DOT bumper. It is properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked. No illegal welds. It is in good condition. It also has DOT reflective tape on the bottom. That is kind of peeling in a couple of areas that I'll report to my maintenance. It is clear and red in color, in good condition. Stepping back as I look at my trailer and my bumper, both sitting level, indicating I more than likely do not have a problem with my suspension or possibly low air in one of my tires. I'll step around to the right side of my trailer. I will be inspecting the right side of my trailer exactly like I inspected the left side of my trailer. The only difference would be that I have my tie-down strap brackets all mounted on this side of my trailer. My tie-down straps are all properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, with no illegal welds. They're all in good condition. I'm just going to do a general overview look of my trailer, making sure that I mentioned all of my parts and components. My trailer, just visually, looks to be in very good condition. This would conclude my inspection C. I would like you to help me check my lights and continue to move on with my inspection.